Um, Welcome back to my knitting podcast. Today is Friday, November 19th, and this is my 19th episode. My first episode of December will be 20, which is very weird to think, but I'm so grateful for this beautiful little opportunity I have. And as most of you guys know, if you guys follow me on Instagram or have watched my last podcast, both of which will be linked in the description box below, you guys will know that I went to Disney, and I turned 17 there, so I'm no longer 16. I am officially 17. I feel a little older, but it was so much fun. I really loved it. It was a lot warmer than what it is here. It's like, it's 38 degrees right now. I don't love the cold, so it was not fun for me to come back. But I did miss, my bed, my dog, my boyfriend, just everything about home after a little while. But I did get a lot of knitting done. Well, what I deemed a lot of knitting done for being at Disney, given how busy my family was. I got a pretty decent amount done, and I'm very proud of myself. And so, I don't know if that's my dog or my brother. I think it's my brother. Okay. Again, if you hear random noises in the background, I'm sorry, my brother's home. My dog is, a dog, so you might hear some. But I have one finished object, and it is my Surella's Yarn socks. This was from her Salem Witch Trials. This yarn was from her Salem Witch Trials drop, and it is in the colorway Coven. It's a very nice gray. It's very pretty. This is her, I think it's classic sock or something base. She'll be linked in the description as well. And this yarn I absolutely loved working with. It was great. We love her. I used Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady's vanilla sock pattern as per usual. And it was very nice to, again, get back into knitting socks. But I still haven't woven my ends. There's going to be a day where I weave in all of the ends to the socks that I have made, because none of them have their ends woven in except the ones my mom bought. So, yeah. And then I also have one half-finished object that you guys also saw last week. Well, you saw part of this sock last week. I also finished this on vacation. I finished this one first, and then I did the second one on here. They were both casted on. I did a lot of the rows for whichever sock is the second one after a few days, and then I was like, okay, now that we're on the gusset, I think I'm just gonna finish the gusset stitches here and just finish the rest. And I finished I want to say I finished 2 gusset decreases, all of the foot and the toe in about 2 days. So I loved having that much time to knit. And this sock took me, I want to say, about 4 days. So it's pretty quick. Oh, that's a notification. And then I also cast on the second pair. I had to wait to cast on the second to the sock until I get home, because I always rewind my yarn after one sock, just so that it's not super duper loose and crazy while I'm working it. And I have 2 rows done. 1.5? No. 2 rows done of the ribbing. And then I decided, okay, we need to make some more progress on my sweater, which is my little segue into whips. This is what I have so far. I know it's not a lot compared to the last time y'all saw her. I did not work on her on vacation just because it was very hard for, like, a lot of the knitting I did was when I was in the parks, and it was hard for me to, like, bring around a project this big that I have to pay so much attention to because I was still on the increases and I hadn't split for the sleeves. To just walk around and do that. And so I actually did most of this last night. I have split for the sleeves, and I'm just finishing up the ball of yarn that was connected when I was splitting the sleeves. And then I'm going to start working. Well, then I'm going to do the sleeves and then redo the body. Well, continue doing the body. Just because it's less guesswork for me. Like with how much I have to leave for the sleeves. So, this is Knit Picks Swish. Knit Picks Swish in the worst way. The color is, sorry, it's in my little shoebox. Pine Cone Heather. And then this is a Cascade, like a Cascade Yarns heritage yarn. I don't know. I got it at a little yarn shop near me that was closing down. I got it in a lot of other yarns that I haven't used, but I'm going to. And so, and then, ooh, again, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys would have seen my new cast on last night. It is the start of my gift knitting for Christmas, and I know I'm starting kind of late. I don't plan to do a lot of it, and I do plan to have most of my attention on my gift knitting. But, ooh, okay, come on. Sorry. This is all I have so far. This is what I did last night. You can't really see it because this yarn is very dark. I'm hoping the fact that it's kind of bright outside is helping. But, this is a Musselburgh hat. I cannot pronounce the writer's name, but the Ravelry like link will be in the description as always. And I am using a very weird combination of needles and yarn because I didn't want the stitches to be, like, I didn't want it to be stretched out and then have it be too airy because the people who I'm making this for go to football games a lot and, like, they live in cold places and I kind of want a more warm hat. And I'm just using some Big Twist, where's the label? Some Big Twist Value yarn. This is in the color Chocolate Brown. I was planning on doing this on 3mm needles. I am doing it on 2.75, I think, is what these are. I'm trying to find it without accidentally magic looping it. Come on. You're on one of these somewhere. Hold up. Gotta put this back on. Yeah, 2.75mm needles. Because when I ordered, what I ordered were 3mm 32-inch circulars, and I got 2.75 instead. And so my grade for my math class just went down, so that sucks. But I mean, oh well. So I wanted to do it on 3mm, but I had to do magic loop, and I don't own DPN, so I had to do magic loop, and I was just like, okay, I'll just do 4mm, but my sweater's on my 4mm 32-inch circulars, and I did not want to wait to cast it on, and so my gauge is a little weird, because, like, my stitch gauge going this way is 6 inches, and then this way is, like, 8, and so I'm gonna knit it to, I think I'm doing the adult large in her pattern, but I'm going to do the increases until I get to the specified, like, diameter, like how many centimeters it's supposed to, like, be around, rather than following her exact like number of increases you should do. That's just something I'm doing. Her pattern makes sense, and had I used slightly bigger needles like I was intending to, I would have been just fine. But, you know, things can never work out perfect for me. So we're dealing with this. And my goal is to do 3 of these by Christmas. I need to do 2. If I can get a 3rd, I will be very happy. But I have to do a minimum of 2. And so my goal for I plan to have this one done by I'm hoping to have it done by the end of next week. And it'll definitely be done by the next podcast episode because I'm going to force myself to finish it by then. And I think it's a pretty achievable goal because I only have a 2-day school week next week because of Thanksgiving. And so I have Monday and Tuesday I go to school. Wednesday I don't. Thursday's Thanksgiving. Friday I don't have school, and we are leaving to go visit family. That's about 7 hours away, and so I'll have 7 hours. I'm going to force myself to knit for almost all of it. 7 hours the way there, 7 hours the way back. We're leaving on Friday, coming back on Sunday. And so I'm hoping I'll be able to finish it either on the car ride back home or before then. Either or will be fine with me. I'm trying to figure out how long I've been recording for. 12 minutes. And that is my plan. I think I have in the pattern, I think I have 10 more increase. 10 more stitches per section, which is 5 more increase rows. Well, yeah. And so, but it's also technically 10 rows because you increase and then you knit all the stitches and then you increase. So I have 10 more rows left until the pattern says I should be at a certain diameter. And since this isn't for me, it's for somebody whose head is a little bit bigger than mine. If it fits me, it's too small. And so I'll probably do 1 or 2 extra increase rounds just because I want it to fit them, not me. And my goal for today, again, is to finish all of the increases. And then hopefully try to work out the math for where I want the stripes to be, because I do want there to be 3 stripes, 1 in a color. So I want to go a thin stripe of one color, a thick stripe of a second color, and then another thin stripe of the first color, and then going back to the brown. And so that's my goal, is to get that math worked out with because I want one side to have the stripes and one side to not. And so my goal for tonight is to work out that math, saying how many inches I need to make it before starting the stripes in order to not have it exceed halfway. And still have a little bit of room in case they want to make fold it up to make a little brim. And so I am optimistic. Again, it's 3/16, so hopefully I can get that done by then. Well, by tonight whenever I go to sleep. I have no clue when that's going to be, because when do I ever have a normal sleep schedule? So that is all of my whips, I'm pretty sure. I do plan on starting some more after I finish that sock, the pink sock, because I want to use up my little bag of sock yarn I have right here. And I also have decided that I'm going to try to do an afterthought heel with my next pair. Well, I am going to do an afterthought heel with my next pair, and if I decide I don't like it, I decide I don't like it. I just want to have that skill set, because I do like the idea of contrasting, like, heels and toes, or heels, toes, and cuffs. But I'm just like, I feel like I'm so used to just doing a heel flapping gusset that the thought of doing something that isn't that is kind of scary. But I'm going to force myself to try it with my next pair of socks. I have no clue when I'm going to cast them on. Probably like mid-December, knowing me. And so that's that. I have one very exciting acquisition, although it has not come in yet, so I'll have to like physically show you guys it next podcast. It's supposed to come in on Monday. But for my birthday, my mom bought me a yarn swift. Finally. Like, thank everybody. I got a winder for Christmas last year just because I wanted to organize my yarn with it wound up, because a lot of my yarn was like this, where it's like not full in the like seal wrapper label. That's what I'm looking for. And so it was kind of just very messy, and so I wound up a lot of my yarn and it was fine. And then I started getting into knitting again, and then I started getting into sock knitting again. Well, sock knitting, period. And the yarn I get comes in hanks, as you can imagine, because most sock yarn does. And so I have been having to like have my knees on a chair like this and like put the untwisted hank on my knees and like go around. And that causes so many knots, and it's just so aggravating sometimes. And my mom bought me a Swift from Knit Picks. I think it's their birch one. And it's coming on Monday. And so I told myself I can't finish these socks before Monday, which won't be an issue because I am not going to wind to hank until I have my yarn Swift. But I'll probably end up winding a hank as like a just in case hank before I leave for my like road trip to go see my family. Because if I finish this there, I still want something to knit on. And if I finish those socks, if I finish the pink sock, I could start my next sock, which I'm thinking, I don't know if I want it to be the baby blue, which I'll show you in a second. Let me just get this stitch. It's one thing about using very structured yarn. Very thick yarn is, when I furiously rip out my needle on accident, the stitches just stay. But I think I'm going to use this yarn next. Oh, it matches the bag. And then I'll finally progress to my green. And after my green, it's like kind of coming undone. I'll go to this baby pink. And then after that, I will use something I've had for a long time. That's a wrapper, which is my second hank of Hawthorne kettle dye from Knit Picks. And this one is the Poseidon kettle dye. The other one I used was Nymph, and I loved it. There's a receipt on it, which I don't want. And so that's my goal. I hope to have these all done before, honestly, if I can do this before I graduate high school, that would be great. Because that's like, one second, let me put this back in here and count. 8, 9 more socks before I graduate high school, which I know 9 socks for some people isn't a lot. I've only ever knit 11 socks, and so it's like the majority of the socks. Like I'd have to almost double actually it would be doubling the amount of pairs I have, but because I already have one sock knit on for this pair, I'm not quite doubling my yarn, like the amount of socks I've knit. So I have to double my pairs before I leave for college before I graduate, so that I can spend my summer having fun, buying yarn, making stuff whenever I please without being like, oh, I have to use this old yarn, and I can still use mine. I think that's about it. This is 20 minutes so far. I will show you guys, I'll probably end up putting in a little clip of me using my Swift next episode if I can remember. But I probably won't because it's me. But I'll try to, and then show you guys how I set it up, if I can get it set up, and my setup with the Swift and the winder and everything like that. Or I might make a separate short little video of me doing that because I don't know how long it's like gonna take for me to like explain it to you guys. And I think that's just about everything for this episode of my podcast. As I said before, all of the materials I use will be either listed or linked down below. Like, I can't give you guys a link to this yarn, but I can give you guys a link to her shop. I don't know if this yarn has a website, and I also don't know what color it is, so I'll just like tell you what I do know about it. And I got my needles off of Amazon, and Amazon links, like, for some reason, don't work on my YouTube. Like, I've tried to put them in before, and I think it's just because they're so long that it just, like, doesn't want to do it. There's probably a way I can make it shorter. I just haven't figured it out. So I'll lace all of the needles that I have been using in the description as well as the yarn. And I think that is actually everything. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below, as well as follow my Instagram and all of the beautiful designers and dyers that I have mentioned. Well, and dyer that I have mentioned in today's podcast. They are all amazing people. They have amazing patterns and yarns and everything, and it's all so beautiful. And so I will see you guys in December.